Hello everyone, welcome to Fantasy Showdown, brought to you by Farmers Insurance. I'm Alan Cavana, and this is the show where our experts here help you set your fantasy lineup for the week. This week we have a great panel, the top three in our league actually right here.
There you go. A hell of a duel going on
TNT
here.
pit reporter,
one, baby.
Marty Snyder, who's in the lead right now. We also have nationwide driver Paulie Baraka. How are you?
Good, how are you?
How you guys doing? I mean, this is an
you know what? I'm very upset to be doing the show with you. I don't like either one of you very much. You and your formulas making me very angry.
I'm creeping up on you.
I'm done with you.
Let's
and
show
you're
you why.
too young to be winning. What is wrong? How are you winning?
Let's show
I would
you
rather
why.
do the show with like Chuck Bush and in his stupid pants than with you guys. I mean, I'm sick of you guys are not supposed to be this good. I have won this championship before. Just back off, all right?
Let's show you why Marty is so bitter, because last week's
I'm
points
not bitter, I'm angry.
in Michigan,
There's
yours
a difference.
truly
I am angry.
won the week. Really dominated. 365 and a half
I think
points.
you get to
awesome.
change your team
Awesome
during
week.
the
Mike
race,
Ford
don't
finished second. Paulie Baraka in third. And then there was Marty Snyder way down there at fourth.
That was in fourth. What do you mean way down there, dude?
I mean, it's a big point.
Go to the next page.
Let's look at the other page.
That's
this is
the page
the
that
lead
matters
points.
right
Marty
there.
Snyder clinging to a lead.
You know, that's why I'm so upset, because Matt Roper, our producer, refigured the points and sent them out to all of us. I'm going to get crushed when this chase starts.
So let's take it to
Very
Bristol.
upset about
Anything can
this.
happen in Bristol. The night race, a lot of attitudes, a lot of crashes. You never know what can happen.
Can he not play for a week? Can we make that happen?
You just
gonna
got to
sit
beat
me
him
for a week?
Just beat him.
Yeah, you just take a week off.
What are you throwing in the towel?
No, I'm saying you take a week off.
Well, let's make our picks. We're heading to Bristol. You know your stuff. I know you do. You need some confidence back. So
I don't
this is
need
where- This is where we
confidence.
make our picks. So who is your? We're
You're
calling
making
it
me even more angry.
fantasy stud.
This weekend, I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski. Now, clearly, the two teams found a little bit of speed lately. I like what they're doing, and he is so good at Bristol. I think that team is a little motivated right now, and I think they're in the position where they need to get a win. They need a little confidence. I don't need confidence. He needs confidence. But I think Bristol's a perfect place for Brad Keselowski to get a little bit of confidence. So I'm going to go with Keselowski as the easy money this week, and he's a little bit cheaper than some of the other nice picks this weekend as well.
And easy money, he calls him. So Paulie Baraka, who is your fantasy stud for Bristol?
I think Kez is a great pick. Casey Kane is also a great pick. One of the things when you think about Bristol and Martinsville, they're the two 500-lap races that we have. Huge opportunity to score a lot of points in leading laps. Casey Kane led 109 laps in the spring race, obviously on his way to a win. I think they're going to have another solid run at Bristol this time around.
Paulie's bringing all the data.
By the way, in this way we pick things, he got to pick first. Casey Kane was going to.
He's always got an excuse. All right, now we're moving on.
He was, I promise
So
you.
it means we agree, which means you really
now I
should.
see how
When
he's
he
thinking.
and I agree,
Now I
you should
see how he's
definitely
thinking.
pick Kane.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the
What's the
animosity.
8-ball for, by the way?
We'll get to that.
All right.
Because we want to know who
sponsor,
your
look at
fantasy
you.
dud is. This isn't a bad driver.
He's so
This is just a
smart.
driver that's maybe too expensive for Bristol. It's not going to get you a good finish. Who's your fantasy dud for Bristol?
My fantasy dud is actually my stud from last week, Mark Martin. Subbing for Tony Stewart, listen, he has not raced at Bristol since 2011. Brian Vickers has been running the 55 car there. He's just too expensive. When I look at my pit row graph, I look at where Mark Martin is, and he's really, really low. He's that big red dot you see. He's really expensive. He's not projected to run that well, so Mark Martin is definitely my fantasy dud for Bristol.
Paulie's got a graph. What do you have? Who's your
He doesn't
fantasy
like
dud?
running. He doesn't like running Bristol for a reason. So actually, I kind of like that pick. I'm going to go with Carl Edwards, because I think Carl is certainly a guy that everyone thinks, oh, Concrete Carl. They remember all that. He's won at Bristol before, but lately he has not been good at Bristol. Just 3 top 10s in his last 9 races there. Yes, I pulled out a stat. I just don't think that they have had it lately at Bristol. I know for some reason people want to think Bristol, Carl Edwards, I'm going to pick him this weekend, but they just have not had it the last couple of years. And guys like Casey Kane, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, they've clearly bypassed Carl Edwards, and I think they're a little bit behind right now at that racetrack.
All right, moving on, what we're calling our Farmers Plan to Perform pick. This is a pick that is a good value. You know, you might not pay a lot of money, but it's going to get you a top 10, maybe get some fantasy points, lead some laps. Who is your Farmers Plan to Perform pick for Bristol?
I'm getting some good value out of Brian Vickers this weekend. I think he's going to be very strong, clear the team. He's been excellent at Bristol the last couple of years, by the way. Doesn't matter where he starts, doesn't matter how far back in the field he gets. He always finds his way back to the front, and he and this 55 team with Rodney Childers have been magic at this racetrack. Plus, they just found out they get the gig for the rest of the year, so I think that's going to be good motivation for everybody. Hey, everybody's in a good mood around the 55 camp. I expect Brian Vickers to be very good this weekend, and a good value as well.
55, good at Bristol. Who's your Plan to Perform pick for Bristol?
This is scary. We've agreed on everything so far. So my Plan to Perform pick, Mr. Consistency at Bristol, has been Jamie McMurray. In the 7 races since he returned to Earnhardt Ganassi Racing, he has finished all but 2 laps in all those 7 races. He's got 4 top 10s. He's an excellent value. He's not an expensive guy. Jamie McMurray is an excellent Farmers Plan to Perform pick for Bristol.
hate the fact that we agree on everything.
Yeah, well,
I can't stand it.
I like the two different
Don't
methods.
tell me that we agree
We got
on everything. That
experience,
would
it's
really
all
make
in your
me
head,
mad.
and he's got his magic 8 ball.
wanna-
I like
you
to
wanna
see
run
which
my
one's
8 ball?
better.
No, I don't want to touch it. But I don't even want to go there.
All
I'm not
right.
touching your ball.
Well-
But I do want to know what you do. You actually get your picks from that or what?
I do.
You do?
I do.
All right.
Yeah, everyone's got a system. All right,
Yeah.
best of luck to both of you. Thank you for joining us here on the Fantasy Showdown presented by Farmers Insurance. You can always go to NASCAR.com/fantasy for any fantasy needs of yours. Have a great weekend, everyone.
I really hope you finish like ninth this weekend.
Out of 8. Out of 8.